Greetings YouTube. Today I'm going to review Soldier, starring Kurt Russell. This is a science fiction military action thriller. The basic story is that the United States government, assume it's the United States government because it sure looks and acts like the United States government, decides that they would want to have a project where they raise soldiers from birth. That way they can completely and totally mold their entire worldview. The program begins in 1996 and proceeds forward until the project ends with the main character being 38. The 11-year-old version of the character, as we see him progress, is actually played by Kurt Russell's son. I thought that was kind of cute. But when all of these soldiers are 38 and you actually get to witness some of their battles and things, which is kind of cool. The main character played by Kurt Russell, Todd 3465. Yeah, they have a name and number tattooed on their cheeks. They're considered pretty much property. They get to meet the next generation of this project, which are genetically engineered soldiers designed to be soulless, thoughtless killing machines. And to prove how incredibly good this new generation is, their commanding officer pits one of them against 3 of the first-generation soldiers, Kurt Russell and 2 of his troopers. And, of course, the new trooper proceeds to kick their asses. Everyone just kind of assumes that all 3 of the soldiers are dead, and because this government has absolutely no attachment whatsoever to their property, throws them away. Literally, puts their bodies into a robotic garbage scow, ships it off to a planet where we dump our garbage, and dumps the corpses onto the planet. Except one small quibble. One of them isn't a corpse. He's still alive. Todd 3465. Grievously wounded, Kurt Russell's character wanders across this blasted landscape of nothing much more than a dump, which is ravaged by hurricane-style winds all the time, but finds a small colony of humans. It appears that a colony ship that was going from point A to point B crash-landed on this place, and now the people try to eke out an existence as best they can. He's taken in by the people, and they try to help him assimilate into the world of these survivors. It's a very Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome kind of thing, you know, people trying to survive with their wits in this, blasted wasteland full of garbage. But he can't adjust, and they eventually decide that he is a danger to the group. He is just a walking, talking poster boy for the entire concept of post-traumatic stress disorder. So he is driven out of this colonist's dwelling into the wilderness, and of course survives just fine on his own, though now since he's had the taste of civilization, he's lonely. Well, some of them eventually realize that, driving out this guy into the wilderness maybe might just be immoral, so they send someone out to go retrieve him. And as this is being done, this is when the military shows up. It seems that Earth has finally noticed that there are squatters in their garbage dump, and they don't much want squatters in their garbage dump. So they're going to send the new, shiny, genetically engineered warriors to use these squatters as live fire exercise. So Todd steps up to the plate and takes on the entire unit of badasses, one at a time, in a very Rambo-like manner, taking advantage of the fact that he knows the terrain and the fact that the planet, for some strange reason, is populated by really poisonous snakes. And of course, he beats them. He saves all the colonists that haven't been shot, and whisks them off into the wild blue yonder, along with his old teammates. It is a solid action movie. It's a very Hollywood ending. It is very enjoyable. If you take it just on the surface, it's a good time. The commentary track is fun. You get to hear about all the things that went on behind it. I mean, Kurt Russell is on this screen for 85% of the film, and yet he has 104 words of dialogue. He learned the dialogue to this movie while in the car being driven to the set. There wasn't a lot of in-depth readings around tables for this role. He spent 18 months getting himself in shape, working 3 to 4 hours a day for 18 months, so he looked the part of a soldier raised from birth to be nothing but a soldier. He wanted to make sure that he could project the character. He wanted to make sure that he believed in himself. That when he was in the skin of that character, he would be in the skin of that character. They used actual poisonous vipers in this film because the particular species they wanted to use, the emerald tree viper, is a very unique appearance. It's beautiful, it's very vivid green, and it's the only snake in the world that looks like this. And at the end of the filming, they had lost one of them. I'm sure the people who owned the studio were really happy about that. But there are some problems. This film was supposed to take place in the same universe as the Blade Runner story. So the first generation soldiers, the ones that Kurt Russell's character belongs to, make perfect sense. This starts in 1996, goes forward to the year 2034. That makes sense. But the genetically engineered second generation makes no sense whatsoever, because by then you have replicants. And the replicants can be designed from the ground up to be exactly what you want. There is no need to tinker with the genetic structure of humans to make super soldiers. You've already got super soldiers. It makes no sense. And when Kurt Russell's character is quote-unquote killed, and then he wakes up in this garbage world, you can't have had more than 72 hours to pass, because otherwise he would have died from dehydration or just exposure. And in a 72-hour time period, they put him in a garbage scow, transported him to another star system, and dumped him on a planet. Now, I do not remember there being faster-than-light ships or jump ships in the Blade Runner universe. So I can't quite fathom how they got him from point A to point B that quickly. And the last problem is, it's a planet for garbage? In the year 1998, when this film was released, we were already doing reduce, reuse, and recycle, and now, of course, we're also emphasizing recover. In 25 years in the future from now, there's not going to be any dumps left on the planet. We're going to be scavenging every square scrap of everything we can, because it's going to save us money, resources, and the planet. So the idea that we're dumping things on another planet, wasting time and effort to haul it from here to there, that's just pure stupid. I know why they did it. It made a nice scene. It made some great storylines, but it was dumb. Now, there are some nice things about this that I really enjoyed. For example, everything on the planet with the colonists is done in sepia tones, while everything with the super soldiers is done in very stark blue lighting. It's a nice effect. You get that very distinct contrast. The super soldiers are well done. They're in good shape. You really buy the fact that these guys are genetically engineered warriors. It's very well done. I like this movie. It was fun, but you cannot take it very seriously. You cannot look at it very deep, because frankly, there isn't any depth to look at. But if you just want an action film, and you want to see Kurt Russell in the absolute best shape he's ever been in, check this out. It's worth your time.